Hey folks, Brendan here from Bluelight. Now, if you're in the police recruitment process and you've got an interview ahead of you, or if you're preparing for the police recruitment process, here are the 6 questions that you really don't want to be asked. Actually, you need to know what these questions are so that you can prepare for them. Because these are the questions that have been asked at a couple of different forces over the past couple of months. They've cropped up in my one-to-one coaching that I've been doing with a few clients who've really struggled to answer these questions when we started the one-to-one. Towards the end of the one-to-one, they're feeling a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable, and they're going to ace their interview. So pin your ears back, folks, for 6 of the toughest questions that I've seen over the past few months, together with my rationale as to why forces are asking these questions. So the first one, tell me about a time when you've had to justify to others a difficult decision. Why is this question being asked? Well, because police officers do have to justify an account for their actions, not just in a court where they're giving evidence, but also to the communities that they're a part of, to people who they arrest, to people who are victims and witnesses. There's a whole load of accountability going on, and you will demonstrate this attribute on a daily basis. So this is the reason why they're asking you about times when you've had to make a difficult decision and you've had to account for that decision to other people. Number 2, a time when you've worked as part of a team. And I know some of you are thinking, yeah, that's pretty standard. What about this next bit though? When you got the result that you were hoping not to get, where you got a different result, where things didn't go to plan. So tell me about a time when you've worked with other people on a problem or a task and things just didn't go to plan. You got a completely different result. Why are you being asked this question? Well, because in policing, in my experience in 28 years of being a police officer in 3 different forces, one of them overseas, I worked for 3 years in the Bermuda Police. And having worked in the sector since I retired, for 9 years now since I retired, I can't think of a time when any plan has gone to plan. Why? Because of people. Why? Because the information that we have is always changing. Why? Because everything is dynamic and complex in the police. So nothing ever really goes to plan. Hopefully we get a good outcome. Hopefully we keep the wheel on, but things never really go to plan. So that's why you're being asked that question. Number 3, tell me about a time when you've challenged someone's inappropriate behavior. Now, this isn't about when you were a special constable, you challenged someone's behavior out in the streets who was gobbing off at you. No, this is about, tell me about a time when you've challenged a colleague's behavior. Why is this question being asked? Well, we only have to look at the scandals that have come out of the police service over the past several months, especially the Metropolitan Police. There doesn't seem to be a week that goes by without officers being held to account for misconduct, being dismissed because of their racist, sexist, misogynistic behavior. It's not that every police officer is like that. I really don't believe that. I believe that 99.9% of all police officers are just awesome. I love them. But there is a small proportion who still believe that they can get away with being racist, misogynistic, sexist, cutting corners, being corrupt, and they need calling out. And I also believe that there's not enough officers who are calling out that behaviour. I know, controversial, but that's what I believe, and that's what my experience tells me over the years, is that it's a really small proportion of officers who do behave in this way, but more officers, there needs to be a bigger proportion of officers who actually call out that behaviour. I know how uncomfortable it is to call out inappropriate behaviour because I've done it, and it hurts, especially when other officers send you to Coventry, they ignore you, or worse than that. So it's still something that is a thing in the police, and that's why they're asking that question. Are you the sort of person that's going to be able to move the service into the next decade or two, make it the best police service in the world, because it is already, but better than what it actually is? and prevent these sort of scandals actually happening in the first place. Number 4, tell me about a time when you've encouraged other people to be flexible in how they've dealt with something, or encouraged them in a change process, supported people who are having difficulty in managing something complex or difficult. This is all about supporting other people who are struggling, and this is your fellow colleagues. They want to see, are you the sort of person who's going to reach out to others and help them, even though they're not asking for that help, even though they may not think they need help and support? Are you that kind of person? And that's what they're looking for, and that's why they're asking that question. Tell me about a time when you achieved something. Yeah, I know you might be thinking, well, that's not a very controversial or difficult question, but it is if we start talking about the barriers that existed. So tell me about a time you achieved something, and tell me all about the barriers that existed that you had to overcome in order to achieve what you achieved. Why are you being asked this question? Well, policing is complex and it's difficult and it's really, really challenging. And you're going to find that there are all sorts of barriers that get put in place, either ones that you can plan for or ones that you just can't plan for, that are just completely unexpected. And they want to know how you're going to be able to deal with those barriers. How resilient are you? Are you going to be able to cope with the stresses and strains of a 12-hour shift where you're getting bombarded with every traumatic incident going? Don't try and persuade them that, yeah, I'm the sort of person that can cope with anything, because you're not. And they know that, because they've had that warrant card in their pocket for several years. They know what it's like. They know that you need to be resilient. You need to be able to overcome barriers. And this is all about how you would work with other people to overcome those barriers, and how you get support from other people, and how you'd support others in terms of overcoming those barriers. So there you go. 5 really difficult questions that often get called rear-facing. Now I'm going to introduce to you a forward-facing question. These are the questions that get asked not about your past behaviours, but how in the future you would do something. So this is one that's being asked by quite a few forces at the moment. How, as a police officer in the future, would you build up trust with your colleagues, with partner organisations, and with members of the community? Or it could just be asked as, how in the future will you build trust with members of the community? Tough questions, folks. Tough questions. And why are they asking this one? Well, building up trust is something that is really important to the police. The legitimacy of the police is something that's central to the whole policing model that we have in this country, in the United Kingdom. That concept of policing by the consent of the communities that we should feel as though we're a part of, not apart from. And members of the community should feel that we are a part of their community as opposed to apart from it. So that's why you're being asked this question. Now, if you're sat there thinking, how am I going to answer those questions? Those are really tough questions. Then check the links below. Come and join the Facebook group where we talk about these sort of questions. We talk about the sort of interview approaches that different forces have, because they all have completely different forces. Forces all have completely different approaches. Once you get past the online assessment centre, which is the same for all forces in England and Wales, every force then can do something unique. And there are completely unique methods that some forces are adopting at this moment in time, and we've got to keep ahead of the game there and ensure that you're prepared for everything. So join us in the Facebook group, and if you really want to ace it, if you want to guarantee that you're going to pass your final interview, and I do guarantee it, if you fail and you've done the work I've asked you to do, I will give you a full refund. Actually, I'm going to go beyond that now. If you just fail, I'll give you a full refund. Just let me know on the day that policing, it's not for me. I'm not going to go ahead with it anymore. And I failed. I'll give you a full refund. So check the courses below that come with that. It's a cast iron guarantee. Why am I giving that kind of guarantee? You might be thinking, he's crazy. Why is he giving that kind of guarantee? I've only given 2 refunds over the past year. My clients work hard. I'll show them the way. They work hard. We practice these sort of questions on a weekly basis in the interview course webinars. Every week we practice these sort of questions and we learn from the approach that the clients in the group take. They make awesome mistakes, and I say they're awesome mistakes because they're making the mistakes with me. They're not making them on the day of their interview. You want to avoid being the person who's going to make those mistakes on the day of your interview. Make those mistakes with me and learn from them so that on the day you come across in a structured way, detailed answers, authentic, some kind of emotional connect. You've got depth and breadth to your answers, and you completely ace your interview. That's what we're after, and that's why I can afford to give you that guarantee, because I've been doing this now for 27 years in the police sector, so I know what works. Come and join me. Click the link below, join the interview course, and if it's not for you, if you watch it over the next 24 hours and you think this isn't for me, then again, let me know. Email me and I will give you a full refund, because I don't want you doing this course. I don't want you buying this course if it's not for you. So if it's not for you within 24 hours, just let me know. I'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. That's how confident I am I can help support you. Please do, if you've liked this video, subscribe to my channel, and please do like the video so the power of YouTube will send you more of these. And I look forward to seeing you. I really do. I look forward to seeing you on one of the webinars to help you on your journey to success. Take care, folks, and bye-bye for now.